First and foremost, all thanks and praises unto our power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Warakak. Peace, blessings, much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons and daughters also. The water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. So I'm going to play this video of Vocab Malone speaking his opinion, rather asking some questions. And I have it sped up a little bit just in case they try to ping me for any copyrights or, you know, all the little things they try to hit you with now. So hopefully with speeding it up, it will prevent any claim against me, seeing that I'm only doing this for educational purposes. All right.
This video, compare the backgrounds. We wanted to see if we could catch IUIC Paris live and ask them a few questions. How are you saved?
How are you saved? That's the first question. So I'm going to try to answer this little by little. And Satan's been trying to hinder this lesson, which has taken some time from me. So now I have to cut this lesson shorter than what I would have liked to have. How are you saved? Well, let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians. How are you saved? Vocab Malone wants to know, how are you saved? 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel, which I preached unto you, which also ye have received, and wherein ye stand, by which also ye are saved, if ye keep memory what I preached unto you, unless ye have believed in vain. So how are we going to be saved? We are going to be saved through the belief of this gospel. Mark chapter 16 and verse 15. And he said unto them, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, and he that believeth not shall be damned. So to the Israelites who believe in the message, the true gospel that is being brought forth through certain Israelites, if you believe it, if you're called and chose from the beginning, then you're going to be saved. You're saved through the truth. Vocab. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So vocab, at your rate, you're not going to be saved because you don't believe in the gospel. You don't believe in the truth. All right. We, those of us who hope in Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, we hear Yahweh Shai's voice. That's how we're able to understand the spirit of truth and the spirit of error, unlike you. Okay. 1 John chapter 4 in verse 6. We are of God. He that knoweth the power heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. In vocab, you are in the spirit of error. Okay?
If you're saved by your supposed Israelite heritage, do you really know you're an Israelite?
Do we know if we're an Israelite? The answer would be yes. All right? How do we know that we're an Israelite? Well, first of all, you do have to be born an Israelite. Let's get that. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 2. They stoop, they bow down together. They could not deliver the burden, but themselves are gone into captivity. Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb. So you have to be born an Israelite, of course. But how do we know that we're Israelites? Do we have to look at our genealogy by going to Esau? No, we don't. Not at all. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 4. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, because that's what Vocab wants. He wants, fables and endless genealogies. He wants us to go to Esau to see what we go back to identify whether or not we are Jacob. And that doesn't do anything. Which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith, so do. So Vocab is really asking questions to really cause confusion. But little does he know the questions that he's asking while trying to be a scoffer, I could actually use to edify rather than being like him, who's trying to bring up fables, who's trying to minister questions rather than, edify. This great leader. Okay, you should know these answers. Let's go further to another scripture. Let's go to Titus chapter 3 and verse 9. But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. You hear that, Vocab Malone? It is unprofitable to deal with such foolish questions, which you often may ask and you may get them answered, and it's never good enough for you. But this isn't for you. This is for the elect. This is to edify the church. All right? And seeing that you're really asking these questions to be a scoffer, they're actually kind of good questions to some degree. But avoid foolish questions and genealogies. So we don't have to go to our genealogy to find out whether or not we are Israelites. Just like looking up in the scriptures, there were times when you had Israelites who couldn't find out who their father's houses went back to. This is all off the Spirit. And genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. Now, there's a particular scripture that comes to my mind. I believe it's in the book of Ezra, chapter 2. And verse 59, let me see. And these were they which went up from Temelah, Telharsa, Cherub, Adon, and Immer, but they could not show their father's house and their seed, whether they were of Israel. So just like us today, we can't physically show that we are of the seed of Israel. So how can we tell? How do we know that we are the Israelites? Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the power. So the Spirit bears witness that we are the Israelites. What is the Spirit, Vocab? When you go to John chapter 8, I believe it's John, it might be John chapter 6 actually. John chapter 6 and verse 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So the words found within the Holy Bible, these words are spirit and these words are life. All right. So how do we know that we are Israelites? Well, the Spirit, the words found within the Holy Bible tells us that we're the Israelites. Let's read this again. It is the Spirit that quickeneth. This is John 6 and 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So the words that we are speaking unto you, which are the words found within the oracles of the Most High, they are spirit and they are life. So based off of the Spirit or the words found within the Bible, that's how we're able to identify that we're the Israelites. Romans 8 and 16 again. The Spirit itself, or the words within the Bible, beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the power. Easy. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's read verse 1 first. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Now, when you look at the Negro, Latino, and Native American in particularly, why are we not at the top? Because we broke the commandments. That's clear to see. The Spirit explains this. Let's go to verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You hear that, vocab? That's why it's clear as day that when you look at the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, the things that we've gone through and still go through, no other nation goes through it like we do. No other nation has suffered like Jerusalem, period. So let's stay in the spirit, be in the words found within the Bible. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign. What shall be upon thee for a sign? Well, when you look at the Spirit, which identifies with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High, well, the Spirit says that the Israelites, if they do good by following the will of the Lord, they'll be exalted. But if they didn't, they'll be debased. They'll be cursed. Well, guess what? Look at how we live today. In the ghettos, we're in the, reservations. We're in the bottom of society for a lot of our people. Why? Because it's a sign based off the Spirit that we are the Israelites. Duh. It's easy, vocab. Okay? And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So just going off of the Spirit, just going off the words within the Bible, that's enough to identify that we are the Israelites. Okay? Romans chapter 2 and verse 14. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are the law unto themselves. So there are Israelites who are living as the Gentiles, but they still naturally do things that pertain unto our law. For example, a lot of Israelites are not into eating bloody meat. That's just not common for a lot of Israelites. Not saying there's not some who do, but it's not so common for an Israelite to want to eat his meat with blood. That's against the scriptures because that's in their spirit. And here it is. They may not have even known that that's against the scriptures. It's just naturally in them. They might not want to believe in the Bible, but by nature, they don't want to sleep with a woman who's on her cycle. Again, not saying that some Israelites wouldn't do such a wicked thing. But a lot of Israelites, they're just not trying to do that. And on top of that, not even knowing, well, it's actually in the scriptures that you shouldn't do that anyway. But by nature, they don't do it. Why? For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves. Why? Because their spirit bears witness with the words within the Holy Bible